Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 235 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challand, with co-host Zack Carlson. This is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Hey, Zack.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It was t-shirt weather outside today. I was in a t-shirt. Can you believe that?
Is this like South Dakota t-shirt or like Florida t-shirt?
Not quite Florida, but it was 68 degrees out, so not too bad.
68?
Yeah.
Holy moly. Yeah, it wasn't that warm here. That is definitely t-shirt weather. That's crazy.
Yep. But back in blizzard conditions next week, probably. So
it was raining all day here, so it was not warm.
Well, you're in the Pacific Northwest. It rains like over half the year, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, a little further inland, but yes, pretty much. So we have big news today. You actually have gun-related things to talk about.
That's right. I actually have some gun stuff. But first, what have you been up to?
Ironically, I did a lot of gun stuff too. I had that CZ. I don't know if you remember back in the fall, I ordered a Tikka T1X, which is 22 bolt action rifle, and then I also at the same time ordered a CZ 457, which is their 22 long rifle bolt action. And I got the Tikka pretty much right away, and we talked about that, and there's been links for stuff I've done with that gun. But I never had the CZ, and I was seeing my distributor emails come through. They give you like the little updates of what things have come into stock and all that. And the CZ 457 with the Boyd's AT1 or AT1, I don't know what they call it, stock showed up, and I was like, that seems weird. Like my order hasn't shipped. Why are these distributors' orders shipped? So that kind of alerted me to email my guy over at CZ, and they're like, oh, I thought your order already shipped. Yeah, it's ready to go. It's sitting right here, ready to go for you. I was like, oh, good. I am so glad I asked. Sometimes the squeaky wheel does get the grease. So they shipped it out, and I gotta say, it's a beautiful rifle. It is a 16-inch barrel versus like the Tikka that has a 20-inch. So remember, on that Tikka, I use a little short suppressor on it. On the CZ, I put my full-size dead air mask on it, and it's even shorter overall length still with the longer suppressor. That's kind of cool. So I put a lot of parts from DIP, and you asked, what's the DIP part? And DIP just stands for Diversified Innovative Products. It's a company local here that makes a bunch of parts for rimfire stuff, and I did quite a few things on the CZ, because when I got the Tikka, he sent me parts for both the Tikka and the CZ, and I put them on, and then I just had a pile sitting here for the CZ waiting. So it was kind of like Christmas time again, where I did a scope rail, a bolt knob, and a mag release on the CZ. And I don't think it really needs much, really anything other than that. The stock is pretty nice. The barrel profile is pretty good. It's got a heft to it. So I just really needed all those parts to kind of upgrade it a little bit. But I so far, I haven't shot it yet. I'm going to probably try to shoot it tomorrow, the weather permitting. But so far, I do like it a lot. It's really kind of funny, though, because I had this bolt knob here, and it had like a little stem adapter on it. So it's like a knob with a little 1-inch aluminum adapter on it. And I'm looking at the CZ when I get it, and I'm like, this doesn't quite look right. So I couldn't tell if it was just the knob to arm that unbolted on the CZ or the knob to the barrel or the bolt body, like where it actually attaches. So I unscrewed it, pulled it off, and I'm looking at the threads, and like, these threads don't match at all. So I'm like, oh, that adapter must be just wrong. So I pulled the adapter off the one that I had sitting here, and then that had a different thread on it, and it was completely different than the CZ thread. And so I snapped a picture of it and sent it to a guy over at DIP, and I was like, what am I doing wrong here? He goes, oh, I sent you a Tikka bolt knob. I didn't send you a CZ one. I didn't know you wanted the CZ one. So all this time that I've had this Tikka, I could have had a bolt knob on it. So that knob, you just literally, it has a bolt that goes through the center of it, and you just unscrew it. And so that one I put on right away. I did a quick video. There's a link in the show notes how to install that. And then he sent me the correct CZ bolt knob, and I put that on this week as well. So I've got links to all those videos. They're pretty simple processes, but a lot of that stuff I like to see done from somebody else before I do it. and just to know what I'm getting into before I go do it. And so I did some quick install videos there if you want to check them out.
Cool. And you said that one is a Boyd stock on that one?
Yeah, so it's the Boyd's AT-ONE at 1. And the thing I liked about the CZ version of it is the standard Boyd stock that you can get just from Boyd's website. They have this plastic like piece that goes on the grip and a plastic piece down by the forend. And I don't know why they're different. I'm assuming the CZ stock was cheaper for CZ without the plastic pieces added to it, but it's more of a traditional stock, but it has that same back half where you have the push buttons to raise the cheek piece and to extend the butt pad. And I kind of like it. I mean, it's a laminated wood stock, so I mean, it's pretty comparable on that part of it, but I do like the quick adjustness where you don't have to have any tools. It's just like there's like a plastic button that's flush with the surface of the stock, and you just push it in. There's quite a bit of spring tension. I'm wondering if that'll loosen up over time, but it takes a little bit of pushing with your thumb to get that button pressed, and then the cheek pieces come up and all that. So it seems to be a quick adjust stock to make it fit yourself, and it only took me a few minutes to adjust it. Yeah,
I found it here. It's a good looking gun. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it. You can see it on my Instagram account.
Oh, I'd have to follow you on Instagram then. I see they have, if you go, I don't know, it's probably a couple $100 more than they have the Varmint Precision version that has what does it have? A Luth AR MBA stock. And that one's pretty interesting.
CZ directly has that, or that's what you're saying, the different versions from CZ?
I'm seeing one put together like this on Bud's Gun Shop for $873, but I think yours was a couple $100 cheaper than that, maybe.
I don't know. I get them directly from CZ, so let's see.
Well, CZ says the one you got is 6.0 or 660.
Oh yeah, the Varmint Precision. Okay, so that's funny you mentioned that, because I did look at this Varmint Precision as well, and it is more expensive. I didn't want another chassis gun. I wanted that traditional look, and
it's a great look.
Yeah, this one, the Varmint Precision, it might be a little bit more accurate because it's, a super heavy barrel. It looks like it. It looks like a straight profile taper barrel and the aluminum chassis and all that. But I have had a few chassis guns. I was ready to go back to a more traditional look on this one.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, you can't go wrong either way. It looks like it. So there's a lot of aftermarket support for these CZs now.
It seems like it. I mean, the DIP makes a lot of rimfire stuff. That's kind of his specialty, and he makes a lot of stuff that that are kind of niche items, and I like it. Everything, it was really nice just because everything was perfect. Like, I got everything fit like it was supposed to. The finish was great. Like, I was really happy with it. Like, it's rare to just get good parts and not have to dick with them at all, and this was nice to have that.
Yeah, sure. Cool. Yeah, I think one of those might be in my future too. They're pretty cool guns.
The only thing, I think we'll do probably more episodes on that gun in the future, but the only thing that I can think that I may want is a better trigger. It is adjustable from the factory for pre-travel, over-travel, and weight, but I backed the weight out as far as you can get it without, it's got like one of those little jam nuts with a set screw through it, and I only got it down to about 2 pounds, which is still good, don't get me wrong, so I'll make a better judgment after I shoot it, but if there's some aftermarket triggers out there that are in the 1 pound or so range, I would be all over that.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that. So, this week, last week, I guess we've been off for 2 weeks, right? Because I did.
I can't never remember.
I did This Week in Guns last week, and I told you and tell the listeners this too. But weeks I'm doing This Week in Guns, which is the fourth Thursday of each month. We're not going to do Gun Guy Radio. I just don't have the bandwidth to do 2 shows in a week. So look for Gun Guy to skip the week. I'm on This Week in Guns. But anyways, so it's been a couple weeks. A couple weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, I ordered some CCI 22 ammo. Or no, I just ordered this because after the show This Week in Guns, I was talking with Ebbs, and he was talking about this CCI segmented 22, and it's actually called the Quiet 22 segmented, and so it's segmented into 3. It's like a hollow point and 3 unique parts that come apart when you shoot it. So great low varmint round. he's had a lot of success with it, so I thought I'd try it out. Picked up some more mini mags and I got some of the CCI Subsonic 22LR, which is also a hollow point, but it's not like a segmented hollow point like this other one. So, and I haven't tried those yet.
This Quiet 22, I don't know if mine's segmented or not, but I have had the Quiet 22, and I noticed they made the two different versions, the semi-auto version and the regular. This looks like the regular. Does this work in a semi-auto gun, or is this a bolt-action only deal?
That is what I'm interested in finding out. I think I was using a bolt gun. I can't remember what I'm pretty sure he was using a bolt gun. I've used the 22 shorts quite a bit, and the 1022, I mean, it doesn't cycle or anything, but just because it's super quiet. Back at my old shop in Illinois on my grandpa's property, it was in the country, but it wasn't in the country. It had cornfields around it, but across the street was a whole neighborhood and everything, and it was next to a golf course on the other side. So I always, when I was shooting ground squirrels and stuff out there, I'd always use like a 22 short or something, because they were so much quieter, even though it didn't cycle, and a little more challenging too. So
that's your plan, because you don't have a bolt action 22, right? You just have the 1022 stuff.
I do not. I don't think I do. I haven't unpacked my guns yet.
That's so funny. Okay, well, so worst case, your plan is just to hand cycle it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have well, you know what? The kids have a Cricket 22, so there's always that. So yeah, I have that. I can't really use that because my finger doesn't fit in the trigger.
So you got to put a rubber band through there, and then you pull it with a rubber band.
Right. But I want to get one of the Henry 22 rifles, actually, the lever action Henrys, and I was looking, they have, like Bud's has Evil Roy edition, which we've had Evil Roy on Gun Guy Radio and This Week in Guns several times. Gene Piercy is a world champion cowboy action shooter, but he's got his own version. Thought that'd be kind of cool to get that version of it. It's got some upgrades on it. It's got a little better look to it than some of the others, I think.
Is it a Golden Boy style where the receiver's gold and stuff?
No, it's silver. So I like the look better, yeah. And it's got a little bit of an enlarged loop for the lever action, but it's not like the super overlarged loop. So it's like just right, I think.
Cool.
Anyways, and then I got a case of Cellar and Beloit 9mm. The Brownells or somewhere had that on sale. And I had a coupon code or something for... I think I had a birthday code or something stupid like that. Anyways, and there's a little bit of some drama with that. So FedEx brought that, and it's a case of 1,000 9mm, so it's pretty heavy. I missed the FedEx guy. Like I work on shop outside, on our property outside our house and everything, and like I came out from lunch and I saw it sitting there, and the whole top of the box was gone. Like I'm like, way to go, FedEx! You give me this case of ammo and the whole top of the box is gone. So I'm thinking, like, did it fall off like the shelves in the FedEx van and the ammo go everywhere? And did the FedEx guy, like shove all the ammo back in the box and then deliver it like that? Was it all there? And it was all there, yeah. And then I posted it in a private Facebook group, ragging on FedEx and everything. And like someone was like, "Did you count it?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I'm gonna count all 1,000 rounds of it. I'm like, I counted the boxes.
They're in 50 round boxes, though, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. So was it one of those boxes where it's just a taped cardboard box, or did it have those little plastic straps around it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with the Brownells because there was like virtually no tape or anything. Like it really should have had some more tape wrapped around it. Anyways, so the next day FedEx was here again. And I was like, "Hey, what's up with that box?" I was just curious about it. I'm like, I'm not mad or anything. He was like, "Oh no," he's like, "It was completely intact when I left it." I'm like, right.
I think those possums plotting their revenge against you.
Well, I didn't see it happen, so I wasn't like 1,000% positive. So I was like, yeah, maybe the kids messed with it or something, and kind of shrugged it. I didn't give the guy a hard time or anything about it. Told him to have a nice day and everything. And so a day or two later, I pulled, I've got a bunch of game cameras everywhere, and I pulled the game camera that I thought I would catch the FedEx guy in the act. Like, I had this vision of like, 'cause his back door would have been open to this camera. Like, I had this vision of seeing him like pick up all this loose ammo off the off the bottom of the truck, and then deliver it. And so I pulled up the images, and it was two of my kids. My two youngest kids, my 4-year-old and my 6-year-old. They were the culprits, and like he had set it on this metal table I got outside, and you could see the kids around it, and then you could see it on the ground and see it moved around a couple times on the ground. I don't know how it looked to be mostly my 4-year-old. I don't know how she lifted it to its ultimate position, which was on the top of this other box by the door. Like it made sense where I found it. Like, oh yeah, the FedEx guy put it there by the door on another box. But yeah, it was my kids. So
you're saying your kids are unsupervised?
Oh, constantly.
Latchkey kids. All right, I get it.
That's why we moved to the country. You can just let them run free, and maybe
they'll put one of those collars around, and you have like a radio fence. If they get too far, it buzzes them.
Right, exactly. No, that's what the electric fence is for.
Well, mystery solved. So you were bragging. Did you go and edit your post on the Facebook group?
Yeah, I updated it. I threw in some pictures of the kids messing with it. It was.
Did they fess up to it? Did you ask them?
Well, I
no.
I didn't even confront them about it. Actually, there's so many other things you're yelling at the kids every day about. There's just too many things to.
There's got to be like an iPhone app that you can like schedule your yellings at your kids for. Like you can just like when they come to your mind, you just put them in there.
Right. Yeah. That's what we should do, Zach.
That's our next big idea. Screw these patches.
Yeah. Speaking of patches, Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. The March patch of the month is in the mail. It was a little bit delayed, but it's in the mail. You should have it soon if you subscribe. If not, you want to check it out. PatriotPatch.co. You get a unique morale patch, sticker, and artwork card delivered to your mailbox every month. Also, check out the other cool stuff we have, like cleaning mats, patch panels, leather patches, and much more. PatriotPatch.co. So, main topic this week, we're talking about 1022 builds, talking kind of about my version of what Zach put together. Zach's talked about this, I don't know how many episodes ago, but what chassis system did you use?
My guns currently have a PMACA chassis, PMACA, and there's a ton of videos on my YouTube channel about those different configurations and what the differences is between all the different versions that they offer. And if you need information on that PMACA chassis, check it out at the link in the show notes.
So going into this, hopefully my wife isn't listening because I've spent a fair amount of money on this. And I originally told Zach, and this is delayed from when I wanted to start this because it turned out I might owe a lot of money in taxes, and I do, but it also turns out I don't owe as much as I thought, so I kind of went a little crazy here. And but this is a pro tip for you guys. You have to really let your wife know how big of a tax burden you have, and when it turns out to be slightly less than that, you maybe buy some gun parts with the difference.
So your marriage doesn't work the same way. If whatever you spend, then she could spend. Like if you want to spend $1,000 on gun parts, she can spend $1,000 on whatever she wants.
What are you talking about? That's crazy talk.
Wow.
No, I was kidding. I was kidding about this with her before the show, and I told her, I'm like, it's a really good investment, hon. I mean, I can get my money back and more. I'm like, oh, by the way, don't listen to that episode Zach and I did about our guns a good investment.
Yeah, the guns that I bought at full retail value that I didn't get any writer's discounts for, they'll only go up.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of Zach. Full disclosure, I paid full price for all this. It does help if you're in the industry or a reviewer or something get some price breaks on some stuff.
Yeah, Jake just doesn't want to be beholden to anybody, which I totally get, but I'm available to be beholden to.
Well, I don't know. I may have changed my mind after doing this.
Yeah, well, this just allows you to do one gun a year versus 12 guns a year.
Yeah. So anyway, Zach went with the PMOC chassis system, and so both of these builds we're talking about, all the builds we're talking about are technically pistol builds, and any rear attachment to them are not stocks; they're braces. So, and they start out as a stripped receiver that you get, I think,
Virgin receiver.
Yeah. In this case, it was from Brownell's, their BRN22 stripped receiver, which fortunately is not a stock right now. Hopefully they get more of those in. But that was the first piece of my puzzle, and you probably heard me talk about that a while back. And then Zach's been talking about how if he did it again, he'd go with the Odin chassis system this time. So I'm like, well, I'm going to do that. But those must be hot commodities too, because they're like sold out of all the colors, all the versions of, like you can only back order the black ones right now. But I ended up getting a blim, which was, I don't know, not a lot cheaper, like $30 cheaper.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I think they're a smaller company, so I just don't think they have that economy of scale yet to just constantly crank them out.
Yeah, obviously a smaller company, but so anyways, I got the black blim version, got it in recently. Actually I have it right here. And I looked it over. I really can't see a blim on it whatsoever. I got a few parts in. I'm still waiting on a few parts, so I slapped together what I could just because it's fun.
So that Odin chassis, and to be fair, I said I would have done that all over again, but when I did mine, the Odin wasn't really out. I bought the PMOC before the Odin came out. That's a fairly, I think right. Last year it came out sometime. First time I saw it, at least.
You know better than I would. Yeah, it's fairly new. And I think it's just now kind of getting around the gun circles because after the show on This Week in Guns, I was talking with all the guys, and I might have been Ebbs again that mentioned, hey, that Odin chassis is just killer. And so I think it's just now, because some stuff that comes out, it's shot, NRA, it's from a smaller company, it just takes a while for it to kind of percolate and get out there.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that the cool, awesome products do rise to the top eventually, and I think this is going to be one of those. Yeah,
absolutely. I like the fit and finish of it. It's really good looking. It's got the built-in M-lock on it. It's got the built-in QD attachments, and then the pick rail on the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we should explain it. The PMOC chassis is a little bit more plain. It uses a traditional AR-15 buffer tube style brace setup on the back. It does have a bolt-on Picatinny rail on the bottom, but where yours has the M-lock slots, which that one you have two M-lock slots all the way around at the 3, 6, and 9. And then they're coming out with a longer one, which I think has 3 M-lock slots. That's the Deep 6, I think they call it. Mm-hmm. And the integrated QDs are pretty cool. That's if you want to put like a single point sling or, well, I guess any sling really. Yeah. And then the biggest departure there is the integrated Picatinny rail on the rear of the chassis to attach to a stock or brace system. Now the other thing I'm looking at your gun there right now, and it is the same in the regard of the grip where the tang is. You have to use a tangless pistol grip because the way an AR-15 tang goes, it doesn't line up. And that is the same as the PMOC, I guess, in that situation. But it looks cool. I think this is a little bit more trendier, but the PMOC is fine. I like it a lot. I like mine and all, but I think if I was going to build a whole new gun, the Odin does make a lot of sense for the M-lock for sure.
I'm looking on the website. The Odin Deep 6 is actually in stock. You can actually get that at least in black. So that's interesting.
Oh, cool. So let's talk about that brace. So explain what that brace is on the back there.
So I picked up the SB Tactical FS 1913 brace. So it's a Picatinny version of the brace. And it's kind of hard to unfold on air with one hand.
Yeah, explain how what is the mechanism to lock it, and does it lock closed and lock open?
Yeah, it locks definitely, open, extended, firm lock on it, no play whatsoever.
That's my biggest thing is what's the wiggle factor?
No wiggle. I mean, you see my hand moving here, but there's absolutely no wiggle. And that's when you open it, same thing. It locks, or I guess when you fold it, I should say. When you fold it, there's no playing it whatsoever. So it's really great. Really, and it really kind of completes the package because this SB Tactical brace, it's got a good, the joint and everything, the locking mechanism feels like it's part of the chassis. It's like the same high quality, material. And then that just extends all the way to the end of the brace. Really, it all feels really sturdy and high quality.
Is the strut on that one, for people that don't know what it looks almost like a SIG MCX style brace, but is that strut the aluminum or the plastic version? I think they came out with an aluminum one this year. I think it looks plastic.
This one's plastic, on it. But it's got to be coated, right? I think it's steel underneath. There's no way it's not.
I think it's plastic. I can see the mold line on it up on top there in the bottom. That's what I was looking at SHOT Show. It
is plastic, but it's really, really sturdy though. I mean,
but for a 22, why do you need the big heavy, the heavier version? Sure. The plastic should be totally fine. It looks good. I mean, and that's my biggest thing was just the wiggle factor, because I do have the SB Tactical AR folding adapter for the regular buffer tube style ones, and it's okay. It does have some wiggle in it that I couldn't get over, but it does work. It does make your chassis folding. And the other thing is, hold it up where you can look down the end of it. That is the difference right there. See how thin that whole setup is? The profile, it's only about 1.5 inches at the butt plate there, that the rubber part there at the back.
Yeah,
that's the thing is, when you have an SBA3 brace, which is my preferred brace on just about everything, that's what I've got on the PMACA. But when you fold that, it gets pretty beefy side to side, and that one looks a lot more svelte.
Yeah, absolutely, very, very compact side to side. My kids stole all my tape measures. Otherwise, I always have a tape measure at my desk, except for now, because one of my kids walked off with it.
Well, add it to your list of things to yell at them about.
I know. We need that app. I'm telling you what.
Okay, so what do you have there? You have the chassis you bought. That was the standard one. You have the brace. You have the receiver. Now, It looks like, so people got to realize there's two different versions. Well, actually, there's 4 different versions of Brownhouse receivers. There's the one that Jake's got there with the integrated Picatinny rail on top of the receiver. They used to make a smooth top, and it seems like that one is no longer in production from what I can gather. And then the same in takedown versions. That's what I got. I just got a takedown smooth, and they make a takedown pick rail, which I had before. So you got the standard, and you got the integrated top Picatinny rail. And then what kind of grip are you using on that? You have to use a tangless one, obviously.
Yeah, so this is the Magpul, the MOEK grip.
That's the one I like too. It's a really small grip. It doesn't. It's nice and compact.
I like it a lot too. No finger grooves or anything. It's got a good texturing and striations to it. So it's it's a good grip. So, and then like the other things I have coming for this, I would have actually ordered like a 6 or an 8-inch barrel, because you can go down to as small as 6-inch for this. But I couldn't really find anything when I was looking, at least. And then I was looking at Optics Planet, and they had some really good deals. So I got a Shaw 22 Charger 10.5-inch fluted barrel. It's a bull barrel, so we'll see how that goes. And then I got Tactical Solutions compensator, Tactical Solutions extended mag release.
What a compensator on a 22!
Well, you gotta be a cool kid. I mean,
you gotta mitigate all that recoil. Okay, so wait, back to this barrel. There's a straight flute and a helical flute. Which one did you get?
The straight flute. I don't know. My OCD wouldn't let me do the helical flute just because it was too crazy. I don't know.
Okay, so it's 10.5-inch barrel is pretty big, but but you don't really have a suppressor going on it, so you're not going to add any more to the overall length. So your setup there is probably going to be the similar overall length than a shorter barrel with suppressor on it.
Right. Yeah, and hopefully later this year I'll start to maybe place an order to get in the suppressor game. But for now, and I figure I'll probably get a shorter barrel eventually for this anyways. But like this barrel is a pretty good deal, so I thought, heck, I go with this because it was $148, and you really can't touch short 1022 Charger barrels for less than $200 or so. So I don't know. I felt like it was a pretty good deal. Then I got all the bits and pieces that. All the pens and everything. One nice thing about Brownells is you can bring up the schematic view of a lot of guns, and then you can click from the schematic view into the product pages for all the little pins and screws and everything you don't know you need until you're putting it together. And hopefully I got everything because I may have ordered more than I needed, but I wanted to make sure that I had all these little doohickeys to put it together. Also went with some Tandem Cross upgraded receiver cross pens, what else did I get? The skeletonized charging handle from Tandem Crossed.
We're going too fast here. So back to this magazine release. This magazine release you did is the style that curves down around the trigger guard. I think that's a good style. I've never had one of those before. I've always just had the little ones that are just kind of stubbies hanging down from the release. But this one, the way that I've seen it is that you can use your trigger finger while it's still in the shooting position, or I guess it'd be your middle finger, pop it down, and then it just releases the mag. That's kind of cool. They're pretty expensive because that's a lot of machining to do on that piece there to get it, because it's a pretty long tab on it. So that's cool. The cross pins I don't quite get. I mean, I guess if you have to buy pins, you might as well get the upgraded ones if you're already buying the pins, but it looks like it has a ball detent in it, right? Is that the difference?
Yeah. So I figure I'd give those a shot. It says that sometimes you'll get too much. Well, especially with this being an aftermarket receiver, I wondered how much play there might be in it and stuff. But I don't know. They weren't that much more than standard pens. So
I don't see, the only thing I don't see that maybe you didn't put every part that you bought, but
I didn't.
Missing the bolt stop pin.
I should have all those. I have. Well, here.
There's like a bolt. A lot of people put the Delrin ones in so you don't get the clack clack of the metal on metal bolt to pin noise. Mm-hmm. There's that pin. I don't see a bolt. What did you do? Oh yeah, right here. Ruger bolt assembly complete. Never mind. I do see it now.
Yeah. So
you bought the factory.
I got a speed bolt release. I got recoil pad screw, takedown screw, bolt stop pin, receiver cross pin, barrel retainer V-block, which actually came with receiver. I didn't look.
Yep.
Barrel retainer screw.
Two of those, yeah.
Yep. Two.
And then it looks like you did a BX trigger on there. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, so the Ruger BX trigger, I guess that's what Ruger has for an upgraded trigger. Yeah,
it's an upgraded trigger, and it's not that expensive. It's a heck of a lot cheaper than most aftermarket options, and I think it's perfectly serviceable. And there's other companies that sell trigger shoes and stuff like that are specific for the BX trigger if you want to upgrade that one even further.
Right. Yeah, I just wanted something. I didn't really want to buy just the stock, the Ruger trigger. So, and the upgraded one includes the housing. It's a whole package deal, the housing and everything that pops up in there. So, yeah, went with that.
How long ago did you buy all this stuff? Because everything I'm clicking with the Brownell says back order out of stock. So it's like, did you get all the last things from everything here?
Maybe. I don't know. I had to get some of it from Optics Planet. I had to get the trigger. I had to get a few things through them.
Which Spartan did you get? Did you get the chrome or the black?
Chrome.
I've got that same one. I like it. It's fine. It sticks out pretty far. I mean, it's not it's an extended one. But yeah, I like it. And then I see an optic here. What did you do for optic?
I don't know. I'm kind of second guessing myself now because I was looking at some of the.
That's a big ass one.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the Howelsons and stuff. I might just put this on like my Smith & Wesson 1022 AR instead. I don't know. So I I got the Vortex Strikefire 2, which, it's been around forever, and a lot of people like it a lot. It's got good reviews all the way around. Got this one for $169, which is fairly a good deal on it. It seems like I noticed all the tan optics, for whatever reason, are on clearance right now on multiple sites. So is like that color on its way out?
Oh, I'm sure it's on its way out. I mean, tan has been, remember tan was really popular like 3-4 years ago, and I think that's when everything ramped up. But I think now people are going to green, and they're going to all the multicam black and all this other stuff. So yeah, I can see tan being out of fashion, but it doesn't matter. It's still gonna be the same optic. The only thing I'm concerned with that optic on that 1022 is, are you going to be like a cheek weld or a chin weld at that point? Because that brace is pretty flat, or straight, I should say, and then that optic's on a cantilever AR-15 mount. So do you think it'll be...
I have no idea. We'll find out.
A proper cheek weld?
We'll find out. Well, you're not supposed to get a cheek weld on a pistol, are you?
Well, yeah, when you're strapping it to your forearm, I mean,
right?
Is this the time that you need to...
Right? I mean...
So... back to that brace real quick. Pull it up there. So how many pick rail sections are there exposed? Like, is there vertical adjustment when you mount it to the chassis that you can get, to drop further or go higher?
There's 2 positions. So right now I'm on the bottom position, and you can go up a position, and that's it. But,
okay. Yeah, because if it was too long, it would dig into your thumb when you're wrapped around the grip, I'd assume. 'Cause you can't go any lower than the grip. Yeah,
and it's in its lowest position right now, and you're fine as far as that goes. I just thought going higher it would look a little funny. I could try it out and see what it feels and looks like.
Well, it'll really depend on when you get your optic on there. If you really feel like you have to raise, and then I would go up one on the stock, and it'd be almost like a cheek riser.
That's true. I'm thinking I probably will just go with like a Howelson pistol optic on it, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to see what works better.
I guess we never really did decide, what is this gun for? What are you trying to do with it?
Shooting things.
Is it just for fun, or is this like your possum killer? Is this like your plinker? Like
all of the above.
Magnified optic for it?
All of the above. I mean, it would be cool to, like, if I did get a 6-inch barrel for this, I think it would fit in like a glove box, which would be cool.
Yeah, depending on the size of the glove box, sure. Yeah, I mean, I think the red dot is fine as long as you're just trying to like shoot things, like you're not really trying to put it on paper and get the smallest possible group sizes, because you're not going to be able to see the groups, obviously. But if you're trying to kill animals or something like that, I guess it totally makes sense for a red dot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see what it evolves into. I just wanted to do a build. I wanted to be like Zach.
Yeah. I wanted to spend money too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's basically a 50-yard gun, right? I mean, that's the crux of it. So it doesn't really matter optics that much.
It is a pistol after all.
Yes, Mr. ATF agent.
So yeah, this is not a cheap build, as it turns out. We're at,
so are you counting everything, or everything that you just have linked? I'm
counting everything, including all the little bits and pieces you need. So I'm at just over $1,000, $1,010. Well, you would be too, Mr. Zach, with yours.
Well, no, I think that the Odin is a lot more expensive than the PMACA, I think. Well, no, it's not that much more. I think because I just built one of these guns just like mine, with a 6-inch kid barrel instead of a cut down barrel like mine was. And we were in it for like $830 or something like that. So there was no optic on ours either.
Right. This includes the optic though. So yeah, take away the optic and we're in the same ballpark.
Yeah, it's still a lot of money when you look at it, but it's cool.
It is. I am really impressed with the chassis, though. Like, I was really, when I placed this order, I was really second guessing myself, especially when I realized that Ruger actually makes a freaking Charger with a pick rail on the back of it now. So I'm like, should I have just bought this instead? And it's a Ruger Charger, and it's, if you're looking for it, it's a part number 4938. They have several versions, but this is the only one with the pick rail on the back of it to put a SB Tactical brace on it, or any kind of brace on it. And so I actually ordered this too.
So did you buy 2 braces?
No, heck no. Although I might see if I can do the industry thing and get another one. So anyways, this is, it's $321 at Brownells right now, but Bud's had it for like under $299, and my FFL got it for just about $299. So, and that includes transfer and everything. So it has a 8-inch barrel in it, so a little shorter barrel. It's got the pick rail on the top of it as well, so it's exactly like this receiver I got. And then
it's not an integrated Picatinny rail, right? It's just the bolt-on scope round, I think, as the standard ones.
I have no idea. Whatever Ruger does, yeah. I'm sure. Yeah, and then it takes an AR-15 style grip on it, and it comes with a very similar one to looking what I got. I'm not sure what kind.
Holy cow, it does. That's a removable grip. I didn't look at it that closely. Yeah. And actually, it's a tanged grip too. So this one does have the molded in.
Oh, you're right.
AR-15
it is
style tang. So you can put a regular like one that has the full beaver tail on the back. Yep. Interesting. Now there is no M-lock slots. There is no QD mounts. It's plastic. It's not an aluminum chassis.
It is not a chassis. It is just a plastic stock. So, but with saying that, I was like, well, what if I got this and I switched out, what if I, used it like it is, but added the SB Tactical brace and the Odin chassis with it, and the Strike Fire. And then I'd be at, about $839. So a couple $100 less. If you went without the Odin chassis, you'd be at $639. So that would be just having the brace and the optic on it. So $639, that's not too bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a really good option. I'm really tempted. You've got me my juices flowing here that I might. Now the downside is the Ruger receivers are not as nice as that Brownells receiver. That Brownells receiver is a CNC machined part. This is the cast aluminum part on the Ruger part. Now there's nothing wrong with it, but the Brownells part is nice. Like it really is a nice receiver, I think. The 8-inch barrel I do like. And it's threaded from the factory. It's ready to go.
Right.
Yeah. The nice thing is if you already had a suppressor and you had like a little micro pistol optic, you could just suppress it, put a brace on it, put the optic on it, and you're done basically.
Right.
Like, it's pretty much done. And actually, if you got a small enough optic, you could probably bias it to the back and put like an IR laser on the front Picatinny mount on the receiver, and you could have like a nice little nighttime shooter.
Yeah.
Night vision.
So yeah, my goal here is to build the two up, compare the two in future episodes, and kind of go from there to see, if my notion of possibly doing the cheaper route with just buying the charger and upgrading a few parts on it is maybe a better option, or if spending over $1,000 to build your own chassis system is actually worth it.
Hey, let's look at the back of that receiver again on there, because that's one thing I didn't like about my Pimaka, which you're having the same issue there, is the rear tang on the chassis don't go high enough to cover the cleaning port hole all the way on the Brownells receivers. So Brownells puts a little cleaning port on the very back of the receiver, which a lot of guys do, so you can clean from the breech, not the muzzle. But when you mount it in these chassis, for whatever reason, they are like they half cover that hole. Mm-hmm. I wish it had a little bit more of a ramp up on the back to kind of blend the top of the receiver into the back of the chassis. I don't know if anybody's doing that, but I think it would look nicer.
Right. So then with this comparison, I started looking around. I'm like, well, if I'm spending $1,000, what else could I've got? And well, it turns out CMMG makes the Banshee 300 and a 22 long rifle version. And this thing is kick ass. I mean, the CMMG
it is pretty cool.
Banshees
it's a full-on AR-15.
Are awesome. So yeah, it's a pistol with a brace on it, and it's it's awesome. But
yeah, I mean it's essentially an AR-15 upper and lower receiver, at least externally. I don't know what it is on the inside, but the only times and the mags are those CMMG style mags, which I had and I didn't find them to be 100% reliable, but neither is a Ruger 1022 mag, to be honest. So I guess there's that. But it looks more like a traditional short barrel AR-15.
Right. So it comes in just over $1,000, $1,040 on Buds. So I don't know. I mean, if you want something like this, but you don't want to do the chassis build with a Ruger, the CMMG might be an option for you. And then I started looking around some more, and turns out Chiappa makes a pretty hideous.
Oh God, that is ugly. Oh my God, I just clicked the link. Oh, where's my bleach for my eyes? Oh my God.
But it's a short threaded barrel. It has a pick rail on the back. It has a pick rail on the front in front of the A1 handguard.
Wait. Why does it have a detachable carry handle with a rear sight on it, but there's no front sight?
Right.
How in the heck are you supposed to shoot this thing? Oh, that is hideous, Jake. Why did you even find that?
It's only $400, and it's
they should pay me $400 to talk about it.
It's a 6-inch barrel, though. I mean, it's a budget gun, 6-inch barrel. You can put a brace on it. Come on.
Oh, it's ugly.
It is terrible. It's awful.
It has a forward assist that I almost guarantee cannot be working. I don't know. This is ugly.
So then Heckler & Koch has a 22 pistol, and I can't figure out what this thing is. Is this really a Walther, or what is this thing?
I would assume it's like a Umarex or whatever.
Or an Umarex.
Which I think is Walther, right? I'm assuming it's just one of those licensing deals.
I couldn't find much on it. Actually, looking on the H&K site, it looks pretty cool, but I couldn't tell if that. So it's got a lanyard attachment on the back. I couldn't tell if that's actually a buffer tube type attachment point where you could put a brace on it or not. But these are cheap. These are only $368. Yeah,
I mean, it looks like it would be threaded back there, but I don't know. Maybe they nerfed it by on purpose. But it actually has a front and a rear sight, so it's got that going for it. Well, but, when you said $1,000 for that Banshee had no optic, remember? So you're in it a couple $100 cheaper with the Ruger.
Well, that's true. Yeah, very good point with that. Oh, anyways, so yeah, this Heckler & Koch. So it's a HK 416. Whatever, but it's in 22 LR. So there's actually it's sold already. This wasn't sold when I looked at it earlier. There's one on Gunbroker, and it has a brace on the back of it already, and it's sold for $485 with the brace, which is actually not a bad deal.
It looks like there's some sort of funky adapter to get that brace on there, because if you look at that buffer tube, the castle nut is way back, like it's an inch or two back from the retainer plate on the back of the receiver. So there's got to be some sort of aftermarket coupler there that somebody's selling, I would assume.
So yeah, I mean, those are the other options I came up with. So if you want SBR styled AR-15 styled pistol, these are kind of what's on the market as far as I could find. I think probably the best options are building out the chassis system like I'm doing, or doing the Ruger 22 Charger that has a pick rail on the back of it and the AR-15 grip on it.
I think that's my vote, just because you can get into it for $300, and then you have to add another $160 for the brace, but so you can get into it minimally, and then you could shoot it and like it and slowly upgrade it. And then you said, hey, I actually do want the chassis. You could swap the chassis in for the plastic stock. There's a way you could do this in stages where you do it from parts. You have nothing until you have all the parts.
Well, and that was my big issue doing this build, is that there's not really a way to cheap out on a lot of these parts. I looked for a stock Ruger Charger barrel, and I just couldn't find a used stock barrel anywhere online. And that should have been under $100 for that, if you could find one, but you can't. And there's other parts too that you can't find used that you would think you could. So that's kind of the downside of building out the whole build from the ground up, is that you got to buy new parts, and you got to buy some of them. You got to buy really name brand parts. So that, there's all that.
Yeah, that's my only reservation about that factory Ruger Charger deal is if it's anything like the Ruger Charger barrel that I had factory, it was a bullet hose basically. It wasn't super accurate. I had to send that other barrel off to get chopped and rechambered and all that stuff to even get it to shoot a decent group at 50 yards. So if you're in 25 yards and in, it's no big deal. Everything's kind of equal. But when you start stretching it a little bit for a 22, that's when you start noticing the differences in barrels. Which is where I'm curious what all these other options like this. That Chiappa, I would be even shocked if it even worked. But then the H&K, is that accurate? I don't know. I mean, what do people expect out of these kind of guns?
I'm really tempted by the H&K because it looks badass looking at it. Good photos
with the brace on it, it looks good.
Right. I'm really tempted to maybe try that out too. I don't know. This will become the 22 pistol podcast.
Hey, maybe we'll get a brand of CCI ammo named after us.
Right.
He's got the Stangers. We'll get
Stangers. What do we
Jankers.
Get? The Jankers. The Gankers. Gun Guy Radio Gankers.
Wow. So when do you expect to get the rest of the parts? Is everything on trucks?
No, I wish it was. The barrel is, who knows, the far side of the moon. So I think everything else is on trucks. But they're like, oh, sorry. This actually isn't in stock. So
that's Optics Planet, right?
But yeah, that's Optics Planet for you.
Yeah.
But I can't complain. I can't complain too much because I could not have done this without them because like you said, Brownells is blown out of a lot of these parts, and I could not find parts even close to being as cheap as Optics Planet anywhere else. So
cool.
And I'm not in a rush.
You're going to have a real. You're going to have a real gun.
I'm going to have a real gun. I haven't built a gun since I built one on the AR-15 podcast years and years and years ago.
So this is actually going to be like a trendy hip gun too. You're going to be current.
It is. It's my glove box gun, right? Maybe.
What gun? Oh, glove box gun. Yeah, maybe. Anything's possible with a hacksaw.
Oh, you just have to, carve out the heater core area and you can fit anything in there.
I was thinking more the gun by chopping the gun down as far as you needed it to.
Could do that too, but that's why I drive junkers. You can modify it to fit bigger guns.
Oh, that's the reason you buy junkers.
Well, now I have to. I spent all my money on this stuff. Thanks, Zach.
Not my fault. Sorry, Jenny.
Patriot Patch Company makes this episode possible. You can check out the Patch of the Month Club over there. Check out all the other stuff. Sell Patriot Patch. Over 85 designs in stock, so I'm sure we have a patch for you. PatriotPatch.co. If you're looking for website design, graphics design, check out Ryan Cross at Hunter of Design. Need anything artwork related, hit up Ryan, hunterdesign.com. And Zach, where can people connect with you online?
Oh, most of my stuff recently has been going on YouTube. That's the first videos I've been doing since the cold weather. But yeah, I posted 3 or 4 in the last week, so check them out over at YouTube.
Very cool. And you can reach us at gunguyradio@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network. And that's a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.